This year was very productive for me because when I got the DOLF C1 certificate from French, a very big achievement for me. I'm really excited for 2026 because I don't really have a lot of pressure on myself to learn languages this year. It just comes from inner desire, inner wave of I just want to learn, I just want to know this language, I just want to do that. And it's the best way for me to learn something because the way I was learning French from stress for the past few months is just ridiculous. You can watch my video on that. But this year, as I said, it's going to be a very light year, but also very productive in terms of languages. So in this video, I would like to share with you my goals and the mistakes I'm avoiding, which will be very, very helpful for you. So stay tuned. I speak 4 languages: Ukrainian, Slovak, English, and French, and other languages bare minimum. So I already achieved my main goal with French, which is C1, for me to get into university here. And so this year I'm going to maintain my level. I'm gonna keep my French in maintenance mode. For that, by the way, I have a planner. I have a whole list planner for my languages. What the fuck is that? Here's a list of all of my languages that I've tried to learn. French is in my maintenance mode. So what am I going to do? I'm gonna read a lot of fiction books because I think in my whole life, in my whole 9 years of learning French, I've read only 1-2 proper books in French. And it's the fact that my bachelor thesis was based on a French book. I have this book here that I bought at a street vendor, this Le Collier Rouge. I started to read that, but I didn't find the story very interesting from the beginning, but I guess I have to keep reading. My first goal is to finish this book fully and get more into French fiction. Is it fiction or non-fiction? I always mess those up. Also, I would like to talk to myself in French even more. I live in Paris, but all of my friends and boyfriends speak English. I have a specific goal for 2026 to find a French friend with whom I will speak only French. But for now, I'm gonna try to speak to myself in French even more. You know, like basic chatter in my head. Just try to make it French. Also do journaling challenges. So for February, I would like to have a little journaling challenge where every day I have a prompt, self-growth prompt or my personality prompt. What is your favorite color? I'm just gonna do that in French. For me, journaling is the best way to actually express yourself because you start to notice the words that you don't know, the phrases you build awkwardly, the phrases that don't make sense. So journaling is gonna be one of my main tools this year. englishhh. I really want to have a proper C1. I have a video on that, my C1 plan, but if I had to sum it up, basically I will be reading a lot of articles this January, February, March and try to sum them up. The articles will be based on the topics that I would really love to learn, like financial world, technology world, politics, etc. The things that every intelligent human being has to be knowledgeable about. I'm gonna be writing paragraphs of my opinion and little essays expressing my own opinions and trying to sum up the articles that I read. Yeah, so this is how I see my first kind of half quarter of the year. Then I still don't see it clearly. You can watch my previous video on planning of my 2026 where I explained that I cannot really plan more than 3 months ahead, and so I really cannot see what am I going to focus on during the summer and during the last part of the year. But one of my goals in the past few years was to learn either Spanish, Portuguese or Italian. I just really want to have a proper A2 in any of those. I'm leaning into Spanish because it's really kind of one of the easiest ones to start the Latin languages with, and so I would love to build a base in Spanish first before moving on to Portuguese and Italian. What I'm going to do is learn from songs a lot, also combining them with a grammar book and reading stories. For example, I have this really good book, short stories in Italian. I had one in French. It helped me a lot just to read. I will finish that one for sure this year, but I also want to buy some in Portuguese if there's any. I don't know. I think I'm gonna make another video on each of those languages whenever I'm really ready to learn it. I'm very excited for those. Then we have Turkish. Turkish just for fun. I'm really obsessed with the Turkish TV series. All my teenage years have been spent on those Turkish dramas and they developed in me this curiosity. I'm not gonna plan anything serious for it because I really want to protect my joy, and when you overplan everything, the joy, the flow just like loses itself. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna watch some easy Turkish videos and listen to some songs once in a while to learn something, but it's not my priority at all. Maybe next year. And so we have come to the second part of the video, which is the mistakes I'm avoiding this time. I'm no longer over planning languages instead of using them. I'm no longer making very detailed plans as I did when I was 15, 16. I basically had like planners each day, very detailed, the pages that I'm gonna do, the pages that I'm gonna read, the exercises I'm gonna do, how much time I'm gonna spend on that. And anytime something went wrong, something went a bit too slow, something went a bit unpredictable, I would lose my flow and I would get stressed. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just gonna have weekly tasks, weekly goals, or rather even routines, habits that I'm going to incorporate in my life. I would rely on them rather than creating a daily detailed plan that I would spend more time on rather than actually learning the language. Another mistake I'm avoiding this time is studying too many languages at once. Because let's be honest, most of us are busy. Most of us have life. All of the creators that I've been seeing online, the language learning creators, their whole life revolves around languages. So of course they can learn many languages at once. And for a regular human being, it's not realistic. Because for example, for me, I have university, I'm also doing tutoring, I'm also creating this content. For me to focus on 2-3 languages at the same time, it's not very realistic. I'm gonna burn out because I also want to go out once in a while. So how I'm seeing this year in terms of that is that first I'm gonna focus intensely on English in January, then a quick French immersion in February, and then probably Spanish. But I'm not gonna learn Spanish, Portuguese and Italian at the same time anymore. I've made that mistake. I'm not doing that anymore. No. Next thing, I'm going to actually study instead of searching for perfect methods to study, you know? I'm not searching for any apps, for any websites, for any tips, for any YouTube channels. I'm not doing that anymore because I know what works for me. I know what has worked for me already. Basically, it's just songs, movies, journaling, speaking on the camera, and grammar books. And you only need a good textbook where you can write all of your words in and review them from time to time. Any other extra things, those are just extra. If they work for you, that's perfect, that's amazing. But for me, any other external apps don't really work because I'm forgetting about them most of the time, so I'm not doing that anymore. The last thing is that I'm going to learn the language with quality rather than quantity. So instead of being acquainted with 10 words, I would rather learn properly 5 and be able to use them in my speech and in my writing, because I can understand almost perfectly, for example, in English and French, but I cannot express it. I cannot say the same thing spontaneously. So I would rather learn a few words per day, but actually engrave them into my brain. So yeah, you can get my template in the link in the description. And I hope you got inspired. I hope you got some notes, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bisous!